Did you know that each minute that a thought takes up your mind, it costs you $4,167? You might be asking, how did I arrive at this number? Well, let's walk through the calculations, shall we? We all say every life is priceless, but if we must place a value, let's assume that we're only worth as much as the richest person in the world, who is currently valued at $219 billion. We won't name any names. And if we live up to a comfortable age of 100 years old, we divide that from the total, then divide the number of days, hours, and minutes, you'll arrive at $4,167 per minute. And as a math girl, this is when I realized I have been wasting my most precious commodity with each negative thought that crosses my mind. And likely you have just come to the same conclusion as well. Our mind space is limited, yet so many of us allow thoughts to constantly fill our mind that don't serve any good purpose. What is something that maybe you find yourself thinking often that doesn't do you any good and maybe instead cause you to go into a downward spiral? You might deny and say you have full control over your thoughts, but the truth is, something just came into your mind when I posed that question. And you know it's something that you shouldn't think about or have been wanting to purge. Maybe it's the stress at your job, your last relationship, your worries about the future, your indecisive nature when it comes to making choices, big or small, regrets over the past, or maybe just general insecurities about your personal qualities or circumstances. Whatever it might be, you allow those thoughts to have power over your mind when it can just pop up at the most inconvenient and unpredictable times. Unfortunately, I'm not exempt from this behavior either, but I have acknowledged that something must change, which is one of the reasons I started my meditation journey. I've learned the hard way that drowning out your thoughts doesn't work, because just like a rubber duck that you keep pushing down into the water, sooner or later it's going to bob up again, maybe with more force, and it leaves you exhausted from all those attempts to stop it from coming up. With meditation, I have a more controlled space to connect with my mind and reprogram the fundamental way that I think. And with meditation, I can confront the thoughts that have been bothering me, carefully process it, then choose to amplify the thoughts that can bring me joy. Sound familiar? Yes, you can think of meditation as a method to Marie Kondo your mind, or more simply put, to clean up your mind space. With consistent meditation practice, your brain will slowly recognize and angle you toward thoughts that serve you rather than disservice you. Now, it's not a guarantee that your negative thoughts won't ever just bubble up again. I still have moments when my mind wander to the time that a promotion everyone at work told me I can start expecting to come my way because of my outstanding efforts, but it didn't arrive until a year later due to circumstances that were completely outside my control. And it hurt me, my morale, and my long term career progression timeline. And I still occasionally have thoughts about the recent long term relationship that I had to end achingly because he made decisions that ultimately made us incompatible and pushed us toward a different path in life. But those thoughts, they come with less frequency and less force when you meditate because you appreciate the value of your mind and can train your mind to better focus on the task at hand, to embrace the present, and to experience joy in the simplest moments. Until you reach that moment when you're strong enough to control your thoughts, use meditation as a refuge for your mind. Create a safe haven for yourself that is accessible at any moment with a close of an eye and a deep breath. And be more selective with who and what you allow into your mind. Pop culture might have promoted the thought that things can just live in our mind rent free. But like I mentioned earlier, it's not truly free. Some thoughts can cost you more than you can imagine. And there's lots of scientific studies to prove the harmful effects of stress and negative thinking on our overall health. So, are you really sure you want to continue with those thoughts, knowing the value of your minute and at the expense of your health? Evict those thoughts that take your mind for granted and create space for the thoughts and memories that help you grow closer to your ideal self. And the last quote that I want to leave you with to close out my talk, it's something that I've heard and can't really take credit for, but I hope it sticks with you. You spend your entire life inside of your head. Make it a nice place to be. Thank you for giving me a few minutes of your precious time, and I hope it repays you by many folds in the way that meditation can now improve the quality of your life.